everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss how to register for Pearson's MyMathLab by going through our Canvas course. It is super important that we go through Canvas to register for MyMathLab because what that is going to do is it is going to sync the gradebooks together so that all of your MyMathLab scores transfer properly to the Canvas gradebook. Since I use the Canvas gradebook to submit your grades to the transcripts at the end of the semester, that is why it is so important that we get those accurate grades into the Canvas gradebook. There is no course ID, so if you encounter a screen at any time during the registration process that asks for a course ID, get out of it. It means you are incorrectly registering. No course ID when you go through Canvas. So first, you're going to want to log into Canvas, of course. You can either go through your Atlas account to get to this Canvas login screen, or you can type in online.valenciacollege.edu into your browser to get to this sign-in screen. We recommend either Firefox or Google Chrome. Those browsers are the most compatible with MyMathLab. I'm going to go ahead and log in here. As I'm signing in, I will mention if you are an Apple user, Safari can be a little glitchy sometimes unless it's completely up to date. So if you're just having continual issues with Safari, you might want to download Google Chrome or Firefox. Those browsers are free to download anyway. They seem to work a little bit better with MyMathLab. All right, so after you log into Canvas, you're going to want to find our course from your Canvas dashboard. Now, depending on which course of mine you're in, the image, the GIF could look a little different. So obviously you're going to want to look through the titles of the courses, which are right below the pictures. Find our course, click on it one time. Now, once you are in our Canvas course, your goal to officially begin the MyMathLab registration process is to find Pearson's license agreement screen, click I accept, then you have officially begun the process. There are two different ways you can get to that license agreement screen. Option one, you can click on the modules tab on the left side. After you click on modules, you can scroll down, click on any MyMathLab homework assignment whatsoever. That's the first way that you can eventually get to the license agreement screen. The other way, and the way that I'm going to do in this video, is I'm going to click on Access Pearson. So once you're in our Canvas course, click one time on Access Pearson. It's on the left side of your screen. As soon as you click on Access Pearson, you're going to have this image appear with like books. And right below those books is going to be, it's either a yellow or orange, depending on what type of device you're using. But that yellow-orange button is going to say Open Pearson. Now, I'm about to click the Open Pearson button one time. Before I do that, though, I do want to mention, as a heads up, after I click this Open Pearson button, a new tab is going to open. If at any time I exit out of that tab, this button is going to disappear. I'm going to need to refresh this screen in order for this button to come back. So again, just as a heads up, if you exit out of the tab and you're going, where did my button go? I want to re-click on it. You have to refresh this particular screen to get this Open Pearson back up. So here I go. I'm going to go ahead and click one time on that. And this new tab, voila, has appeared. You're going to think yellow-orange yet again. So not only did you just click on that yellow-orange Open Pearson button, but this new button is going to say Open MyLab and Mastering. You're going to click one time on that. Now, I'm going to show you screenshots of the pages you will encounter, the screens you will encounter from there. But after you click one time on this Open MyLab and Mastering button, then you will finally get to that license agreement screen that officially begins the process. So let me go ahead and bring that on up. Here it is. So this is what that license agreement screen is going to look like. So you'll scroll down, read through that, click I accept, and you will follow the prompts from there. So to recap, you logged into Canvas. After you logged into Canvas, you clicked on Access Pearson. There was a yellow-orange button in the middle of the screen that said Open Pearson. You clicked one time on that. Then a new tab appeared with another yellow-orange button that says Open MyLab and Mastering. You click one time on there. The license agreement screen opens, and you go from there. Now, just to show you what the next screen will look like. So after you click on that license agreement screen, here's the second screen. After you click I accept on the license agreement, here's what the second screen is going to look like. If you've ever used a MyMathLab account before, MyMathLab, my Stat Lab, my English Lab, my Stat Lab, my whatever lab, you already have a Pearson account. So you're going to sign in with your username and password you've already created from a previous course. You'll click sign in, and then you will be taken to the last step of the process, which is the payment screen. If it's been a while, you forgot your username or password, no worries. There is a forgot your username or password link right below it. However, if you are brand new to MyMathLab, you need to create a new account, which is right here in the middle of that screen. So you will have the extra step. Once you click create, before you get to the payment screen, you will have a screen that looks like this. We strongly encourage you to use your entire Valencia email address for both the email address and the username. Now, they do have very strict password requirements you'll see on this screen. Please be aware of that. You'll know you've chosen a password that works because you'll see a little green check mark beside the box. If it does not uphold their strict requirement, they'll have a red X, which means you have to insert so many, special characters and all that. They'll tell you, they'll guide you through it as you're typing in your password. They even have a security question, security answer box. So you'll go through this screen if you are creating that new account. After you submit this, then the last step for everybody, regardless if you are a returning user or new user, is the payment screen. If you've purchased an access code from the Valencia College bookstore, you'll click on the access code button on the left top of your screen. Just as a heads up, please be aware that these prices are a few years old, unfortunately. So the prices have went up from this screenshot I'm showing you here in this video. If you're going to go for the longer term code, if you wanted to avoid the bookstore, you don't want the access code, you want to pay directly while you're registering, then you have options on the right side of the screen to do so. The longer term code, which would work for other courses that use the same ebook, which tends to be both of the liberal arts math courses, if you would want that longer term, more expensive code, that's going to be near the top right corner. That's up to 24 months. So you have 2 years of access. So if you're like in Liberal Arts Math 1 and you anticipate that you're going to take Liberal Arts Math 2, you would go ahead and you would consider spending a little bit more money and getting this longer term code. However, if you're not taking the other Liberal Arts Math course, you only need to purchase the 18-week code. It's a little bit cheaper, not cheap, but it's a little bit cheaper. It's near the bottom right of your screen. Again, the price is a little bit more than what you're seeing here. This is from like 2020, this particular screen. So Valencia College Bookstore, you're going with the access code on the left side. That access code should have been emailed to you. It's a random sequence of letters and numbers. You can copy and paste it and put it in there. Otherwise, if you're avoiding the bookstore, you can look through the options on the right side of the screen. If you are waiting for some money to come in, near the bottom middle of the screen, in tiny, tiny blue font, it says Get Temporary Access Without Payment for 14 days. If you click on that little blue link, a screen will appear that says, are you sure you want to do this? Click yes. wait for it to process, and you will have access, free access for 14 days. So feel free to use that option. Again, if you're waiting for some sort of money to come in, that way you can go in there, you can get into our course, you can start working on the homework. There's no delays. If you have any questions, concerns, or issues whatsoever with registering, please feel free to reach out and let me know. I am looking forward to a great semester.